Hi, welcome to part 5 of our showing the local and rural and urban election frauds in the UK with Sandy Steele. Where did we get to? I think we're at.
We're moving on to Lockley and Aston Magna ward, where there were 2 candidates, 2015 elections.
Okay.
And
absolutely no description again.
No description again. And then Lockley and Aston Magna ward, 2 vacant seats.
Here we go. Where's that Lockley Aston Magna ward? 2 vacant seats, 427 electors.
Right. So
spot on.
How on earth is that not coordinated? Then we've got on the back Lockley ward.
Mm-hmm.
How many have we got there?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and absolutely no descriptions again.
Right. Okay. So then we move to the stuff, the information they've taken out, which we've got hold of.
And it's 7 vacant seats, 1,009 electors.
Right, so 6 candidates, 7 vacant seats. What a coincidence, and none of them declared a party. So we move on to Bourton-on-the-Hill.
And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candidates, no descriptions again.
Right, and then we move on to Bourton-on-the-Hill.
Bourton-on-the-Hill is Voyer, and it is 7 vacant seats, 260 electors.
Right, so 6 candidates and 7 vacant seats. So we move on to and no declared parties or anything.
This is Bourton-on-the-Water, another beautiful area.
Right.
And that's 2 candidates.
Right.
And no descriptions.
Okay. Now this has been changed around. This is a slightly out of date thing. Let's see what we've got here for Bourton-on-the-Water. Well, I think this has been changed around. So
Bourton-on-the-Water.
I think they've broken it up into different wards. So this probably won't make that much sense over Bourton-on-the-Water. But I can assure you, it's the same rig as the others. What are you saying there?
I was just it says it's 11 vacant seats.
Yes, I think they've broken
2,740.
This is slightly out of date. This is the 2011 details, and they've actually broken Bourton on the Water down into sub wards. So we haven't got the relevant detail to actually prove beyond doubt that there's a fraud going on.
But you can go out for yourselves and do your own research, which we encourage you all to do.
Of course, you know, it requires a freedom of information request to get these omitted details for the 2015 election to nail every single one. So the next, we've done Bourton-on-the-Hill, I think, haven't we?
Yes, yep.
So the next one is Boxwell and Laterton. How many candidates?
That's 4 candidates, and sod all description again.
Okay, and here Boxwell, I think it's 5 vacant seats.
Boxwell, where are we? Yep, Boxwell, okay. And that's 5 vacant seats, 196 electors.
Right. So obviously some coordination there. Brimpsfield, Caudle Green. Oh, I think this is the one, the ward that has the lowest number of councillors in our constituency and highest number of councillors.
Just 2 candidates, and again, absolutely no description.
Right, and then Caudle Green, Brimpsfield, Caudle Green.
Caudle Green here, and that is 2 vacant seats, 42 electors.
42 electors.
42 electors.
Yeah, okay. So, very convenient. And of course, they're not declaring anything. Then we've got Broadwell.
And that is 4 candidates, and again, no description.
Right, this is an interesting one. Slightly interesting, not very, but 7 vacant seats. They haven't even been bothering to raise the number of candidates to even near
7 vacant seats,
yeah.
312 electors.
I mean, occasionally this does happen. This is where they haven't even been going around their mates and saying, "Oh, come on, do stand." And in those situations, these councillors who do get elected, or uncontestedly elected, are then allowed to do a thing called co-opt, so they can just pick their mates to come on to the council. And often that occurs where there's someone who is significantly, obviously a Conservative, maybe a Conservative district councillor. And I'm only slating the Conservatives here because it happens to be a Conservative area. If I was in a Labour area, or a Liberal Democrat area, or a UKIP, I'd be slating them, or Green. They all do it. So don't in any way think that I am picking the Conservatives out. This is across the national parties. They're all in it. They're all the same. What they would often are doing in these circumstances is actually then co-opting people who possibly may be high-profile Conservatives, who are Conservatives on the higher councils of district council and county council. I'm not saying that necessarily it is here. It may just be that they couldn't be asked to more neatly coordinate it. But obviously, if they started declaring their policies, proper policies about how their area should be conducted, and ran public primaries, sat in their village hall, before the election, all individually with their manifestos that they had written out, which is what they should be doing, and then obviously a public hustings so they could be publicly questioned, then of course people would start standing against them because they had actually come out and started to actually carry out their most basic responsibilities as political candidates, rather than just omitting to tell the electorate anything and in a coordinated manner. We've done Broadwell. So the next one is Cherrington. Again,
Cherrington.
I don't think I've been there.
I've been to Cherrington.
Good
Good
for
old
you.
friend there. It's there's not much there, but it's quite nice.
They're all nice.
Yeah. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candidates and soddle descriptions.
And we have
Quite amazing, actually, the lack of descriptions that they can get away with that. You'd think. Well, which one was that? Sorry, what was the name of the place?
It is Cherrington.
Cherrington, wasn't
Where
it?
you've
Okay, yeah. Cherrington, and that is 5 vacant seats, 113 electors.
Right, so 5 candidates and 5 seats, and no one actually declaring any form of political party. Now a slightly interesting one, because this is the first in the group that is not a bid rigging fraud, but a market share cartel fraud.
Siren Sister.
Can we name the councillors here? Just not particularly because we're marking them out, but just, to make it notable for people.
So it's Oliver Cooper and Lee Searles.
Right.
And that's just the 2 candidates, and they're both Liberal Democrats.
This is the first time, notice, so far, that people have declared their any form of party association. Suddenly they're declaring Liberal Democrats. Why suddenly are all the candidates, or both candidates, declaring political parties when none of the candidates before have declared any parties? Well, let us move to the... I've slightly ballsed this one up because this is out of date, but nevertheless it will be illustrated here somewhere, I hope. Cirencester 4 Acres is a new ward, and I haven't got the updated things for here, but I think I can show you by extension. If you look at Chesterton Town and Cirencester Town, Chesterton Ward, and Cirencester Stratton Ward, Whiteway for 2011.
So which one? Say again.
Well, it's the Cirencester one.
Cirencester Town, Chesterton Ward, Cirencester Town, Stratton, Whiteway Ward, yes.
And how many candidates and how many?
3 vacant seats for the Chesterton Ward and 3 for the Whiteway.
Right.
2,904 electors, 2,874 electors.
Right. I can say with, right, the significant thing is suddenly you notice the electors have gone up. The number of electors have shot up. So this is the situation where they're operating, making sure that the candidates are not familiar with the electors, and the electors aren't familiar with the candidates. It's very much larger, really significantly larger, and of course in a new, relatively new suburb of Cirencester. And what that means is that it's much more difficult for the candidates, local candidates, to promote their own policies and get them all the way around. And so what's happening here is that the candidates are joining the mainstream national parties, at which point they have given up their right to decide policies, and it's in return for them being promoted by the parties because they're using the power of brand. And also they get funds, obviously, to actually distribute leaflets, and party political support to distribute leaflets. And also, if they keep their noses clean, they then get promotion up through the political parties. If they follow what the national party executive require of them, rather than what their electors require of them. So they are literally, and I mean this, in their national party executives' pockets, rather than in their electors' pockets. And of course they should be in their electors' pockets, and I mean that in a monetary sense. And this then allows the national party executives to pick our pockets, ostensibly because they're saying, well, this is a democratic process. You've elected us to tax and spend for you, and therefore we're allowed to come and pick your pockets. But in fact, they are operating a market share cartel fraud by supersizing the wards, and where in fact there's now one councillor for about 1,000 electors, making it anonymous. That plays into their hands, coerces the candidates to actually join the parties, at which point they've given up their rights, at which point they're on the greasy pole. They've already given up their rights to decide policies, but in return for being promoted, which is also bribery and corruption. So there are 2 crimes going on here. Okay? Okay,
we're going to have to leave it there for part 5, I believe. Sorry if I've got the parts wrong, but you'll see, they'll be titled on YouTube. Anyway, so see you for the next part shortly. Okay, bye.